Hey guys, it's Taylor. So, welcome to Magical Beast Book Review number 4. Wait, there's on my fingers. Number 4. Um, Sorry that these haven't been up for a while. If you watched any of my other videos, I had a lot of personal stuff go on, and then my schedule is constantly changing, so I know this is actually a day late, but book reviews are actually going to start going up on Tuesdays, because my schedule changed again, and now Tuesdays are my day off. I guess let's get started. This week we're gonna do Cassandra Clare week on Magical Beast Book Review. I heard my hair out. It's Cassandra Clare week, and so if you guys don't know who Cassandra Clare is, she has written the Mortal Instrument series. She wrote Infernal Devices. I will eventually learn to speak, I promise. So that's gonna be the City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of everything else. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince. Clockwork Princess is coming out in a couple of days. I'm so excited. It comes out 13 days after my birthday, and so it comes out in 26. No, less than 26 days, because my birthday is in 13 days. So, really excited. Um, yeah. Sorry, I'm just really excited about Clockwork Princess coming out. It's one of my favorite series, the Infernal Devices. Anyway, so unlike normal book reviews, I don't have one of the books on me because I lent it out to my cousin. So Justin, if you're watching this, I want that book back. And first one we're gonna do is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. And this is the one that started pretty much everything. This is the one that is going to be turned into a movie coming in August this year. So I'm really excited to see that. I've heard a lot of rumors that, Raphael, the vampire that takes over Camille's place, isn't going to be in the movie, and that's going to be really weird because he's a pretty big contender in the movie. He's got a lot to do with Simon, who is Clary's best friend, and there's like a lot of stuff that goes on with him. And so, there's that. Jace Wayland is going to be played by one of the vampires from Twilight, and that's kind of weird, because he didn't really do a whole lot in Twilight, so I'm really wondering to see how he's going to pull that through. And Clary is going to be played by the girl that played Snow White in Mirror Mirror, and so I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. I mean, I'm not doubting anybody just yet, but I'm really curious just to see who's going to work out. Magnus, the guy that's playing Magnus, so excited. I am definitely a Magnus fangirl, Definitely love him and Alec, and that whole relationship is awesome, and I love it. How everybody has their relationship role models, that's mine. And so, let's get started on the book review. The summary is going to be that Clary is thrown into a world of monsters and demons after she meets Jace Wayland, who is, the main guy character. Clary's the main girl. And she finds herself stumbling into this war between worlds. I will talk eventually. Where her father is actually a pretty huge contender. She goes through a lot of the book thinking, oh, my dad died. I've never met my father because he died when I was, a baby. And bam, here comes dad. So it's interesting. It's a love story. There's a lot of, not really a lot of, but there are some religious aspects. It's another Nephilim story where any of the shadow hunters, like Jace, Alec, Isabel, Clary, they're all going to be half human, half angel. So, like, if you guys watched the Hush Hush one, like Chauncey and stuff. So, another Nephilim story, which a lot of people seem to be writing these days, and that's okay. Nephilim are cool. I will read Nephilim books. And, anyway. My favorite scene is going to be Magnus's house party, where Clary, Jace, Simon, Isabel, Alec, they all go over to the High Warlock of Brooklyn's house, and there's all the vampires there, and Simon gets turned into a rat, and that's my favorite scene, just because that's where they introduce Magnus, and that's my favorite character in this book. Love Magnus. It just, he's really cool. He's like the guy that you're like, I want to hang out with you. You're weird, but you're awesome, and I love you. And so, I definitely, if I was a shadow hunter, I'd be hanging out at Magnus's house all the time. And so, like I said, my favorite character is Magnus in this one. I give this book a rating 8 out of 10, just because it wasn't my favorite. It was really, I don't know. It's really good. Don't get me wrong. It is really good. But, it's not going to be, like, in my top 5. But that's just me, personal opinions don't hate me. But, so, I give it an 8 out of 10. It was a pretty good read. I'd definitely read it again, after my mom finishes reading it, because I'm getting her to read it, so she'll go see it with me in August. And, are there any books available? That is kind of funny. There actually are a lot of books. I want to say there's 6 in the Mortal Instrument series, which is going to be the City of Bones, City of Glass, City of Ashes, I want to say there's 6 in there, and she's currently writing more. She has 2 out now, and 1 comes out on March 19th. In the Infernal Devices series, that's going to be Clockwork Prince, Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Princess. And yeah, I said those out of order, but anyway. And then she's working on other books. I don't remember what those are called. I forgot to look it up. But she's working on those as well. And just so you guys know, City of Bones takes place around like 2007-ish. So it's kind of old, kind of not, if that makes really any sense. It's not like, oh, it's in 2013, it's in our time. It's like a couple years ago. So it's not really a big deal. But yeah, that was City of Bones, and now we're going to move into Clockwork Angel, which I'm super excited about. Clockwork Angel is also written by Cassandra Clare. This is the one that I don't have, because Justin's borrowing it. And this one was actually, it takes place like in the 1800s, and that's why I made a point to tell you guys that, City of Bones takes place in 2007. Well, this takes place in the 1800s. And following the death of her aunt, Tessa Gray, who's going to be our main character, travels from New York, where she was living with her aunt, to London, where her brother now lives. His name's Nathaniel Gray. And before she can get there, she is actually captured by these 2 women called the Dark Sisters. And, or she gets to London, but before she gets to Nate, she gets tossed into this world, the dark underworld of London, where she learns that she is actually a shapeshifter, and so she can, like, touch something of someone's and be able to become that person, and she has all their memories, and it's actually a really cool concept. I liked it a lot. And, she learns that she's a shapeshifter. Ooh, I say that 10 times fast. Shapeshifter. And, she ends up being rescued from these Dark Sisters by, shadow hunters. So, his name's William, and, William Herondale. He is definitely one to watch out for. God, I love Will. Will and Henry actually rescue her, and they take her back to the London Institute, where she meets other shadow hunters, and she makes a deal with the shadow hunters that she will use her shape-shifting powers if they can help her find her brother, because she's still looking for her brother. And so, that's pretty much Clockwork Angel. I'm sorry, Clockwork Princess comes out March 19th. I'm really excited. Anyway, my favorite scene from that one is going to be any scene with Will, and Will is talking. Will is conscious. That's going to be my favorite scene, because Will is kind of like Jace, almost, but he's a lot funnier. And I read the Infernal Devices series before I ever picked up the Mortal Instruments, and so that might be why I read them wrong, and why I like Will more than Jace, but I like Will more than Jace. Regardless, there is a scene where they're training Tessa, and Will and Jim Carstairs is Will's Parabody. I really hope I pronounced that right. which means that they are like twin warriors, and it's a really cool concept as well. And there's a scene where they're sitting on a table and they're talking about this time where they brain fart, dang it, where they tried to create a race of like an army of ducks, and they would feed them poultry pies in the hopes that, you know, they would get this army of ducks. And I've actually got the quote on my wall there, and it says, "Bloodthirsty little beast, never trust a duck," because, you know, they're cannibalistic. They would eat poultry pies, and you know, and that's kind of the reason, if you guys have read the whole Mortal Instruments series, that's why Jace doesn't like ducks, is because you learn everybody's related to everybody in this crazy family tree. And so, all the shadow hunters are like related and married into each other, and it's really crazy. But any part that's got Will and he's conscious and he's talking, I like. I've got a couple of quotes on my wall from Will. One of them is, "Thomas, we must away at once to the nearest brothel. I seek scandal and low companionship," and that was after, not Gideon, Gabriel Lightwood, insulted him by telling him that he had matured, or was staying out of trouble, can't really remember, but that's that one. And then I have another one that says, "I've never swam naked in the Thames before, but I know that I wouldn't like it," and that was in Clockwork Prince, when they were trying to convince Tessa that she didn't want to go on the train with them. And I would give this book a rating 10 out of 10. This is definitely in my top 5 books. I love this series. My Christmas money, I actually pre-ordered Clockwork Princess so that I would have it 13 days after my birthday, and was like, yeah! And now everybody's mad at me because that's the only thing I wanted for my birthday, and it's coming. So, definitely 10 out of 10. Read this book. Even if you don't read the Mortal Instruments, and you don't like any other Cassandra Clare things, please read this book. You know, just humor me, read it. I'm sure you will enjoy it. My favorite characters are Will, obviously, Jim Carstairs, William Herondale, Jim Carstairs. I really like. He's Will's power body, and there's just this humbleness about Jim that you just want to like hug him and just be like, it's gonna be okay, you know. There's a lot of, I don't want to say drama, but there's tragedy surrounding Jim, and like your heart just, you connect with him in such a way that you're like, if something happens to him, I'm gonna be upset and I'm gonna cry for a long time. And so I'm really like hesitant to read Clockwork Princess because I read somewhere some kind of spoiler that I'm not gonna give you guys, but it wasn't really a spoiler, but it was a rumor, and I was like, I hope it doesn't happen. I will cry. I mean, yeah. Henry is Charlotte's husband, and he is one of the, Charlotte runs the Institute of London, and Henry is her husband, and he's this ginger kid, and he's not really a kid, he's a grown man, and he's goofy, and he makes all of these inventions that explode, but he makes Jessame, who is another shadow hunter that lives at the London Institute, this parasol with like razor blades on the end of it, so she can like, she stabs a troll with it, and it's awesome. Or a goblin, it might not have been a troll, probably was a goblin. And he's goofy, you know, he wears all these like really weird outfits that don't really go together, and he's kind of embarrassing, but you're like, dude, I like you. I really like Henry. He's really goofy, and he doesn't really care, and he's head over heels in love with Charlotte, even though he doesn't really, you know, show that, but he's really cute. And of course, Magnus is in this series as well. Magnus, this is where I started to fall in love with Magnus. Of course, Magnus is going to be my favorite character. He's not in these ones as much as he is in the Mortal Instruments series, but he's still there, you know, he's still my favorite. I love him to death. Because this is a Cassandra Clare book, are there any books available? We already went over that. There's tons available. And you can find any of her books at any book bestseller. I mean, I've gone to secondhand bookstores and they've had them. I've gone to Kroger, Walmart, they've got them there. You know, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, wherever you guys are, I'm pretty sure that they'll have it. Like, she is, you know, New York bestseller list. She's great. So, yeah, that was Magical Beast book review number 4. No, not 5, 4. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of these books, and if you have any books that you want me to review. I'm actually out of books right now. I'm just kind of waiting till the 19th. So I have open plate for what I can read. So I will talk to you guys later, and I love you bunches. Bye!